400,000 pounds of steel, fuel, and human life suspended 5 miles above the ocean, held aloft by nothing you can see. You were taught how this works in school. You were taught wrong. Right now, at this very moment, over 5,000 aircraft are cruising above your head. The largest ever built weighed 3.5 million pounds, and every single one of them stays aloft by shoving 10 tons of air downward every second. The question is, how? Here is the story you were told. Air hits the wing and splits. The top surface is curved, so the air on top has to travel farther. Bernoulli's principle says faster moving air has lower pressure above, higher pressure below, and that difference is lift. Clean, elegant, intuitive, and fundamentally wrong. 3 facts destroy the textbook story. First, flat wings fly. A barn door tilted into the wind generates lift. No curved surface required. Second, airplanes fly upside down. If the curve was essential, inverted flight would be suicide. And third, even on its own terms, the equal transit time model predicts barely a fifth of the lift a real wing produces. The math doesn't just fail, it fails catastrophically. Before we rebuild the truth, we need the foundation. 4 forces act on every aircraft. Lift pulls it up, weight pulls it down. Thrust pushes it forward, drag holds it back. In straight, level flight, each pair must be in perfect balance. Disturb that balance, and the aircraft climbs, dives, accelerates, or falls. Newton's third law. You learned it in 8th grade, then forgot it when you learned about flight. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. To push an airplane up, something must be pushed down. That something is air. Massive, continuous rivers of air, shoved earthward by the wing. Watch what actually happens. Air approaches the wing horizontally, but the wing is tilted, angled into the flow. It doesn't just split the air, it turns it. The air that exits the trailing edge is aimed downward. That downward river of air is called downwash. And Newton's third law does the rest. Push air down, the wing gets pushed up. The secret isn't the wing's shape, it's the angle. This is called angle of attack, how steeply the wing meets the oncoming air. Increase the angle, and the wing deflects more air downward. More deflection means more lift. But push too far, past about 15 degrees, and the airflow can't follow the surface anymore. It tears away. Lift collapses. This is a stall, not an engine failure, a failure of physics. Now here is where it gets beautiful. Bernoulli was not wrong, he was just incomplete. The air speeding up over the top surface does create lower pressure above, higher pressure below does push upward, but this pressure difference is not separate from the flow turning. It is the flow turning. Pressure gradients are what curve the streamlines. Newton and Bernoulli are not competing explanations. They are the same explanation seen from 2 different angles. The deepest layer of the truth. When a wing starts moving, it sheds a vortex from its trailing edge, a swirl of spinning air left behind. Physics demands that angular momentum be conserved. So an equal and opposite vortex wraps itself around the wing. This bound vortex adds speed above the wing and subtracts it below. It is the engine of the pressure difference, the engine of the flow turning, the invisible architecture of flight. Put them side by side and there is no contest. The textbook model is a fairy tale that only works in a narrow, idealized case. The real model, Newton's third law plus circulation, explains everything. Flat wings, inverted flight, stalls, and it matches the actual numbers. Every wind tunnel test, every flight data recorder, every aircraft ever built. So, if it is wrong, why does every textbook still teach it? Because the equal transit time story is simple. It is visual. It points in the right qualitative direction. Faster air on top, lower pressure, lift. And the real explanation requires mathematics that most students will not encounter until university. The myth survives not because it is true, but because it is convenient. And in science, convenience is a dangerous thing. Next time you sit in a window seat and look out at that wing, know what it is actually doing. It is hurling 10 tons of air downward every second. The column of displaced air beneath your aircraft stretches hundreds of meters toward the Earth. The wake turbulence from a single 747 can flip a small plane that crosses its path minutes later. That wing is not gently riding a pressure wave. It is a force of nature. The airplane stays up because it pushes the air down. Everything else Bernoulli, circulation, pressure fields is detail. Beautiful, intricate, essential detail. But the core truth is Newton, and it always was. Next time someone tells you it is about the curved wing making air go faster on top, smile. Because now you know what is really holding you up.